We began today, actually, with the party sort of separating to different places after a sort of split. Some people signing on with the Gilded Legion, some people most people choosing to remain independent. Jacob was one of those who signed on and get a hefty signing bonus and some sick gear. Um, that night, they both experienced dreams of a certain figure, a feminine figure coming out of the light, telling them to come to them. They did not divulge these dreams, but nonetheless, they had them. Um, the day went on with you guys eventually meeting up in Clayton Quint's squatter shack um, and discussing what you were going to do with the day, discussing the ship that Kenneth Kennedy had told you about, that also Seamus had, had ordered those of you who had signed on to go guard. Um, you guys came up with a tentative plan to investigate. Um, but before you could do any of that, there was a full day ahead of you, of which most of it spent by Meshach wooing a certain Brandy. He went to her and helped distribute bread to the needy in the grief-stricken town of Waterdeep, and was successful in his attempt. Um, Eventually securing a first date with her later that evening. Um, the rest of the party did a variety of things. Most of it consisted of hanging out at the Short and Stout, a dwarvish-owned tavern, where pies were made, fellowship was had, and scheming was done. Some of you went off to discuss your plan with Mr. Kenneth Kennedy, and he promised to inform him of your plan, and he promised some small form of aid with the investigating the ship. Um, he did not tell you. He did not get all the details. He did not want all the details. He maintained plausible deniability. But plans were made. Eventually, we went to Meshach's first date with the lovely Brandy. Um, it went. It was mixed. The date itself was okay, but at the end, it was clear that Brandy thought that Meshach had some growing to do. Well said. Um, but nonetheless, they persisted, and their future was left up in the air. Um, Nonetheless, as evening came, you guys went to the ship. Of course, I guess I never really said the name of the ship, but you guys would have been able to tell. The ship is named the Iron Maiden. As you went up, as Jacob and Olvar went to perform their duties as members of the Gilded Legion, they met their men who were to be assisting them, met the captain, boarded the ship. Well, the other half of this plan, really the only actual plan, unfolded as Meshach started a rock concert, drawing attention from the guards, and the other two, uh, Magnus and Louis, performed some stellar stealth work and successfully infiltrated the ship. On board the ship, you guys found an open and nearly empty hold with a single chest and a engraved golden shield of excellent quality, which began talking to you, identified itself as the Hidden Lord and smiter of devils, or of demons, and who very much wanted to be your friend. As the extraction of said chest began, um, it quickly became clear that you were not alone, as demonic figures emerged from the water and began slaughtering crew, passerbys, guards, you name it. Everyone was under attack, but it was clear they were targeting whatever was in the hold. A savage battle ensued. Lots of damage was done. Jacob, in the thick of the fray, finally was brought down, nearly slain by the frenzied demons. But nonetheless, the party persevered and triumphed, until eventually everything was dead except for you, all beaten and bloodied, on the deck of the ship, in which you totally didn't intentionally burn a hole through the chest uh, to discover what was inside of it, which was this mysterious device, box, contraption, whatever you may call it, sitting alone in the chest. As you guys disembarked from the ship, you loaded the chest, and well, I guess Jacob is now the wielder of this shield, which revealed it had its sentience and powers of its own in combat. Uh, the hidden lord living up to his claim of smiting demons with fire, which he did admirably. Um, and as now we are here late at night, the moon lighting up the harbor docks, the dead of noticeably you might notice some of the city guard, not Guild of Legion, but of the city guard that Kenneth promised to send, slain, Guild of Legion, slain, townspeople slain, and almost 2 dozen of these demon corpses of varying sizes, all slain, their acid blood slowly burning marks into the stone. It is here that we begin our evening with the faint sound of clanking footsteps rushing through the city streets, firelight just beginning to echo around the corner several hundred feet in the distance, as the sound of combat has clearly not gone unnoticed.
Well, let's wait for the guard to arrive. This will surely be a mess of paperwork for them and for us.
Meshach and Magnus, are you of the same opinion? Are you going to wait for these authorities, whoever these, you don't know who they are? Are you going to wait around on the crime scene?
Meshach. Meshach. I'm gonna be like right next to you. I'm like, we might need to leave. It's one thing, they're expecting our friends here, but they're not expecting us here. Yeah, let's make. Let's go to your place. Follow me, and I'm gonna go ahead and cast Pass Without Trace,
Okay.
so that Meshach and I will have a bonus +10 to stealth as long as Meshach's within 30 feet of me.
Excellent.
And then I will look at Jacob and our compatriots, and I would assume those who are not supposed to be there would all be coming with us right now.
Yeah, we'll assume that.
And then we'll retcon it later if need be. Those who are supposed to be here, I'll be like, give you guys a salute, like, see you later. And then we're gonna start off.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna split a 3-person party. Jacob,
Truthfully, metagame wise, it's more of this night. I don't want to be seen right now.
Yep, that's fine.
It's like
Jacob, knowing y'all to be like Meshach in particular to be someone who reads social situations well, he's like you see some gears turning. He just nods and he's actually gonna follow you.
Okay.
Okay. I need. So you guys are sort of at a T intersection. So the dock goes to either side of you along the harbor. Then there's one street going into the city. By this point, the guards have turned the corner. They can see 3 figures there. But there's just no way to identify you because they're in the darkness in the distance. So they're coming from the northernmost, so to your left, and then from the part in the city. So there's 2 groups of guards coming your way, sort of at a jog. Roll me a perception check, you guys.
Is this a perception based off of smell?
No, this is purely sight. And I can
Is
tell
it-
you what you smell.
How's a
Um,
4? What's a 4
um,
gonna get me?
Is it perception or insight?
Perception.
Just perception. I have a 15.
Okay. This isn't particularly difficult. Jacob, you don't really notice anything. You're not paying attention to this. But the other two of you would notice that the group of guards coming from your left, from the north, is that of the city guard. They bear the coat of arms of Waterdeep. The section coming from deep from in the city, on the main branch of the T, are groups of the Gilded Legion. So there's two different factions converging on the site at the same time.
I'm going towards the city guard.
I'm going toward the Gilded Legion.
No, you're
There is
splitting the
also-
party!
There is also one section that no one is coming on.
Oh, so we could actually split. Oh, actually, I would prefer that. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm still gonna go toward the Gilded Legion.
Oh,
No, you don't. You don't have to.
Nishak, I'm gonna kind of like give a nod. Like, let's go the route where no one's coming from.
Well, I need a stealth check from the two of you.
All right. So add it, whatever. There's a passive +10 to this, Dan. So I got it 38.
You said
Okay. They rolled pretty well. They rolled a dirty 20, but you guys beat that. Don't worry about it. So you two, a large hooded figure and a smaller caped figure, disappear south and down the docks, um, leaving you, Jacob, standing there with the chest and the shield, the chest on a cart. One of the horses dead, the other sort of standing skittishly off to the side. Um, as two units of the unit city guard is about 8 men. The Gilded Legion is about 20 men, clearly arriving in a bit more force. Arrive at approximately the same time. The city guard sort of stands there awkwardly, like, "Oh, we weren't expecting." What they don't know. They start to investigate, look for wounded, but their officer clearly steps forward, not wanting to say the first word, feeling as if he might not have as much authority as he should have, even in his own city.
Oh.
The Gilded Legion, their captain steps forward. You would recognize him as having the same rank as you. He is a captain. He steps forward. He's a Minotaur. He'll step forward. "You there? What's going on here?"
toward me.
Yes, you being the only upright figure standing here.
There was an ambush on the ship by some sort of horrible marine monsters.
Are those what's, I presume they'll take it. He's got a great sword over his back that he sort of wields in one hand to poke at a body. These were the assailants.
Oh, yes.
Who were the two that ran off?
Allies of mine. They saved my life.
Ally, why flee? I'm sure you will report to Seamus. It is not my job to ask these questions. But it looks like the cargo is all intact, yes? He's eyeing the...
Correct. The chest is damaged. Their blood is acidic. Careful when removing the bodies.
I see. Very well. But the cargo inside...
Undamaged.
Excellent. Very well. You will come with us, and you notice the city guard, just the city guard, their commander. This is just a regular looking man. Step forward. This has happened on city property. You must report to the city council and report what happened. This is a threat to the city at once.
I'm gonna. How is the how is the Gilded Legion captain responding to the like? Does he give a damn at this time?
He'll sort of side eye this much smaller human. It's Gilded Legion business, not city business. You have no say here. And with that, and I'll just gesture to his men, get the chest, bring it back, get our dead, honor them.
If I
And
may,
the guard will fan out. They're clearly professional. They will start to secure the site around the harbor, the dock going out towards the Iron Maiden.
if I may, would that your men would tend to the site and the wounded, but my task was the cargo. I will return that, if I may.
Yes, of course. You'll have you two on him. The rest of you stay here, secure the site.
Captain Jacob.
Jacob, Captain Thrall.
Well met.
Hi. You're new, aren't you?
Yes,
You're part of those giant slayers, yes?
I am.
Good to have you. It's good to have you.
And likewise. And I head off.
Excellent. Two of the Guild Legion will peel off and escort the cart with you through the city, and you are able to, I assume, head back towards the Sentinel's Rest. Excellent. Magnus and where did Magnus go? Well, Meshach. Where are you headed? Okay. Owen, are you here? No. Okay. Well, there's a perception check I want you guys to roll. Well, you roll me a perception check, and depending on how well you do will depend if Magnus needs to roll as well. Because this is a perception check that might rely on smell as well. Okay, well, we'll keep going with Jacob until Owen returns, I guess. Jacob, you were able to keep on going back towards the Sentinel's Rest. You got your cart, so you're moving at walking speed. You're not dashing through the city, but it takes about 20 minutes. You're able to get back. At this point, it is almost midnight. You're able to return, and as you pull up, one horse on the cart, the two men escorting and stuff, you are recognized by this point by the guards at the tavern. They will salute you, and they already know their orders. They will both, the two at the door will run and unload the chest, and to tell you, Seamus and the council are waiting for you upstairs.
Of course.
And they will follow you up the stairs as assuming you head up to the fourth floor of the Sentinel's Rest.
Yeah.
Excellent. As you make it up the steps, I will pause there as you enter the fourth floor.
This is maybe the worst encounter for Jacob to be going into alone. Keep going.
What have I missed so far?
Nothing
Sorry,
that
I
you know
just tried
about.
to remember.
Nothing that you
Great.
know about. Good. As you guys flee the scene, I need you to roll a perception check. That can be. It won't be private, but your sense of smell would assist you here.
Okay. So yeah, sense of smell will assist. Well, I assist, which is great. Um, so that means I get advantage, which is good. So a 24.
Okay. As you are fleeing the scene through the dark streets of Waterdeep, your trunk senses something that you only smelled once before,
Spider senses are tingling.
at least recently here in Waterdeep, and that is a mixture of rot, dried blood, and just human sweat, just of dirty people who are covered in not good stuff. And that would be when you first spot those cultists in the street.
Oh no!
The stench is powerful. You
Well
don't
then,
see them, but you can smell it.
like they're here.
They are somewhere in the area. And the scent is coming from multiple directions. As you're moving through these twisted, crowded back alleys, not the main avenues of Waterdeep. Um, there's 1,000 dark alleys that you see in different directions as you move.
I have dark vision. Does that? Can I see more?
So beyond 30 feet, it's still dim. It's a seeing in dim light.
I have dark vision up to 60 feet.
Okay. So beyond, but you really can't see 60 feet in any single direction because of the twists of the alleys and that sort of stuff.
Got it. Okay. I just want to clarify that if that reveals something. I just wanted to know.
You just know that they're there.
Okay.
You don't have an elevated position. You can't see down or anything. Roll me both. Yeah, Magnus, you're the one you can sense them. Just roll me a straight. Just roll me a flat d20.
Okay. 17.
Okay. As you do this, you come along you rolled lucky, so you get to you are aware. As you're get to maybe a quarter mile from the harbor, um, you sort of come up on an elevated walkway with that's like one walkway's up here and the other's down here. So so you got a little bit of a more vertical view. You can see off down to the lower neighborhood, and you can pick out there are dozens of cultists creeping silently through the streets, perhaps hundreds. Knives dully glinting in the sunlight, clearly trying to move stealthily. There's not a light among them. They're sort of hunched. It is ominous.
Like towards
Creeping
us?
in the direction of the harbor.
Oh. That's
They're not easy to make out. So Meshach doesn't even see them, but since you smell them and you have that perception, you can make out these just dozens of figures moving through the shadows slowly. With your perception check of 24, you might even see a few slain bodies of guards on the.
Oh, this is terrible. Oh, this is awful. Everything about this is terrible. I'm gonna like freeze up for a second, and I'm like gonna try to point them out to Meshach. And Meshach, I'm gonna like pause and just kind of like look at you like, what do you want to do? so. Oh, got it. Is this an endless sea of cultists?
You've only seen them for a few seconds now. It is not. They're not. There's not endless, certainly, but there are far too like.
Engaging them would mean death.
Yes, DM to player. Yes, there are functionally for a D&D combat for 2 players, a functionally an endless number of cultists.
Great. And is it basically like there's not? It'll be
There
a
are
1% chance of getting around them type of thing.
There's not what?
Is it like there's so many that like you have a 1% chance of walking by them versus just letting them pass by passively if you find a spot to hide?
So you're sort of out of the way. You see them moving in a few groups down below you. So you're on sort of on a higher.
Okay, there's none on
Yeah.
this higher platform.
Yeah, so they see you moving down because they're sort of down in the lower, hidden, like darker parts of the city. More sort of slums and stuff that you can see down on in the lowest part of the city. You're in a more middle class neighborhood where you can look down on them. You took the good way home. But yes, with your perception check, you could say there are minimum that you can actually like see if you were to sit there and count 50, and probably more. At this point, Magnus is pointing out to you. You can now see them. I mean, and you just see a lot of figures like you have seen in the past, many draped in like human hide and bones, jagged, sometimes improvised weapons, heavily scarred. There's a few you can see as they creep through patches of moonlight.
Dan, if you do it, I'll do it too. Yep. It's like, Dan, if you do it, I'll do it too.
Into okay.
You sense like this aura that like was like keeping our footsteps quiet, like had dissipated, reabsorbed into me, and then my hood and outfit slowly transfigures into the outfit of a cultist.
All right.
Like as you turn, you're like seeing like the last 3 seconds of like this transformation to look like a cultist. And I'm a massively tall cultist. Ooh.
Yeah, so you guys both look like bloody savages, yes. And I assume you want to go down into the crowd. Roll me just roll me like a performance check, I suppose.
Both of us?
A pretty easy performance check. Yeah.
10.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, you roll like above 5. Like they're not so yeah. So you guys are able to. There's sort of a small stair that goes in quench between two buildings. It goes down to the lower part of the. So you were able to go back in there, and as you guys come back to the stairs, you can see these figures moving across the stair one by the sort of end of the alley, the stairway down into the street below, one by one. And then you're able to step out, and they don't even acknowledge you. Some of them will look one of them like looks your way, a half orc, and sort of give a savage grin. He's got like a skull held like covering the top half of his head. And he'll turn back and they'll just keep on going forward. Occasionally you'll hear yeah. occasionally, you guys will hear a shout up ahead. The brief sounds of blades clanking, inevitably made silent again as minutes go by, until you guys might recognize that you guys hear water sloshing against stone again. And you can see up ahead. As you guys go, you see whoever was unlucky enough to be caught in the way of these cultists. A few commoners, several members of the Gilded Legion and City Guard alike, laying out bleeding, almost always with their throats cut at the end.
Ugh.
Blood pooling into the streets.
Ugh.
Until eventually the cultists in the front stop. And eventually more of you, until eventually there's just ranks of you. Now you guys are in it, you can tell there's way more than 50. There's at least 100 of you.
I cast Fireball. I wish I had that spell right now so badly.
You're all there in the stacked up in a small courtyard off to the corner, off the side of the harbor. And you guys can faintly see in the distance, several hundred feet down the harbor, the ship, the one ship docked there, secured by, with a weird standoff going on with a few city guard and perhaps 15, 16 Gilded Legion, cleaning up bodies, securing the scene, until eventually one cultist stands up. It's one with a very large, clearly stolen military issue greatsword, patchwork armor. It's a woman, a big, scary looking woman, long hair, and she doesn't yell, but she doesn't. She's not whispering. She simply she speaks commandingly. My brothers and sisters in blood.
Yeah.
The time is soon. The enemy brings their weapon to our gates, and we will seize it from them. We have them surrounded. Now is the time. Blood for the blood god. And like a ripple, the front cultists will start saying it, and then more will join it. They'll sort of whispering over and over, blood for the blood god. Dozens, hundreds of voices all whispering over and over around you, whispering. That goes on for about 10 seconds, until from the north, in the distant north, you hear a blood-curdling scream. At that point, the female leader, she gives a similar scream and starts sprinting down the harbor. Everyone joins in, starts screaming as well, and before you know it, there's a horde of bodies armed with jagged weapons, attired as they are, streaming towards the Iron Maiden where it's docked in the harbor.
Yep.
So the other members of your party would have also left with you.
This is true, and they might have split off from us. We're like, Thomas would have been gone already. Like, I would assume the two Gilded Legion people would have gone to Gilded Legion.
They're both at the Sentinel's Rescue.
I'm gonna look behind us real quick. Is there anyone like?
I mean, you guys are at the back of the crowd. They're sort of streaming past you until soon you guys are at the back of the crowd. It's sort of like a push. Like not everyone can fit right away, so there's sort of crowd. So not everyone's able to run right away. But people are streaming past you. Yeah.
Do you want to take out some of the people in the back? It's so bad. Okay, in another world, that makes way more like in another parallel universe, I have tripped 20 of them and chucked a couple into the water before sprinting out of there. But reality, wait for everyone to pass and then go back the way we came to actually escape.
Okay, roll one more stealth check if you want. Okay.
Good work.
Well, a nat 20, but without having my plus 10 passive for
Don't worry about
casting
it.
that trace will be a 30.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, don't worry about it. It would be weird if you're just standing obviously out in the open, not charting with the rest of them. But you guys are able to, as everyone runs past, you guys are able to like melt the side, so like no one notices you not joining the attack.
Yeah,
And
I
you can see
pretend I
this
throw out my
breaking
back or
down.
something.
You guys watch the whole scene. It takes 2 minutes. You watch as like a swarm. You can see another party that also came from the north, of similar size, hundreds of the most you've seen. As there well over 200 cultists swarm this small pocket of guardsmen and gilded
Well,
legionnaires.
I so badly wish I had Fireball.
The fight is short and brutal. They put up a good last stand um, until blood is drenching the dock. They fight their way down the dock, up onto the ramp. They fight a last stand on the ship itself until until everyone is slain yet again. They start to tear through the ship, but you can see that they have not. That they are. You guys can't hear very well because it's hundreds of feet away. They
I
clearly
would
did not
assume.
find what they were looking for.
I'm assuming we would at this point after we separated from him, we would have moved to a spot where we could observe, but like not clearly be seen that there's cultists that are just standing there.
Yeah, no, you guys can be on a rooftop somewhere. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then I would I think I keep up the skies for just a little bit longer until we start actually walking away.
Excellent.
But
Excellent. Yep. Tom,
oh gosh,
Yep.
Jacob, you make it to the top of the Sentinel's Rest. The two guards come up behind you. They thunk the chest down in front of the table, of which Seamus and his council, Trello Whitescalp, Zamora Baneblade, and Vathar, I don't remember his last name. Maybe I don't think he has a last name actually. Are sitting around the table with Seamus at his head. They do not look relaxed. Seamus does not look relaxed as he does in the past. They are standing over, poring over a map of the city, a number of lists, that sort of stuff. They wait. They don't acknowledge you for a few seconds. The chest thunks down. Seamus looks up. He looks wary.
I salute him, as is appropriate. Uh, Visibly, like, messed up.
Jacob, it's good to see you. I see you. Have you spoken to him?
Oh, you introduced yourself as the Hidden Lord, did you not?
That's me.
Yes. If
He's
that
made
is
your acquaintance. You've spoken with the
yes,
Hidden Lord, and you're friendly.
yes.
Excellent. I was hoping. I'm surprised he spoke to you, but it is good that as long as you are on good terms, he's been a most useful ally in our endeavors as of late. If he has chosen you, then I will allow you to keep the shield, I suppose.
Oh,
oh,
well, uh, that's very kind of you.
Know that I must converse with him on occasion.
Of course.
He must be, in order to speak, it is a distance thing. He's with nature of the magic constraining him there. He must be within about 120 feet of you to actually speak. Um, it's about the extent of his awareness of his surroundings, which is more than most of us, I must say. The chest. Is everything in it unharmed?
Yes.
And no one opened it?
Correct. Though enemies of some sort. Demons, yes, I address the shield.
Yes, water demons recently in league with the greater host of the abyss.
We were ambushed.
You were attacked.
Yes.
What of the men?
What was that? What of the...
Were you the only ones that survived?
Ah, okay, sorry, I didn't hear you. No. I, I would have... Well, Ulvar and I, yes, are the only Gilded Legion who lived. Just barely. I say, again, I'm at like 9 hit points right
You
now.
look good. No. And then he'll come up and he'll approach the chest. He'll see the hole in it. And he'll give you a big old side eye. As he sees the hole, he turns up to you, looks up to you with a big. And this?
Their blood was as acid. Oh, the ship. Oh. It burned what it touched.
He will, Trello, he'll sort of like look at, like, clearly he's like, look at the hole, can't fit his hand through it. Trello, grab the keys, please. Trello will come up, do a big janitor keys, just like 100 keys on a ring. He'll pull out the right key without missing one, hand it to Seamus. He will unlock the chest, raise it, and then take out the cube that you guys have seen. Thank you, Jacob. You've done the city, the Gilded Legion, a great service.
And this is all of the cargo.
This is more important than... This is the most important thing in this city.
Quite. Yes.
I know this all seems very cloak and dagger to you. It would to me.
I tolerate cloak and dagger, but it is hard to when I've seen so much death today.
That is fair.
Forgive my dour mood. I do not mean... all is well.
And you served us well. It's quite the first assignment. Your service is much appreciated and reflects well upon you. Let me tell you what I can. All that would be appropriate, that this device is... Let me be honest with you. There is much more happening here in Waterdeep than just in Waterdeep. There is a greater conflict going on, of which Waterdeep is a small part to play. This continent extends to Helm's Hold, it extends across the Sword Coast. There are two sides forming. One of them is darkness and chaos, of which you have faced today. Lawless, disordered evil. The demons of the abyss are rising, and a new power has joined them. And we of the Gilded Legion are doing a small part to stop them. What you have done today, delivering me this Bobble could do more than you might realize.
I realize little, as a rule.
Ah, well. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. That is true.
Still, I thank you um, for your emboldening words.
Of course. Get yourself some rest if you need healing. See to any of us, any of the medics.
Yes,
Sleep well,
and likewise.
of course. I will do my best. With that, he will turn to you and he will sort of. He's not trying to hide it. He's already sort of trusted you enough that he's let down his guard a little bit. He's not putting on quite such like a big, not showing quite so much bravado, but he's noticeably wary around you in a way he would never be around people who he just met. Um, for sure. But with that, he will turn it back to his little council table, and they'll start murmuring back towards each other, and almost forget that you are even in the room. He will take the box and he will thunk it down on the table, sort of haphazardly sitting there with a map and all the other papers and stuff. Um, yeah.
Okay. I think after that, Jacob is going to get one drink and take it out with him to find Meshach.
Excellent. We're gonna assume that you know where you guys have been knowing each other long enough and stuff. We're gonna assume you know roughly where Meshach's apartment is. As you go through the city late at night, I need you to roll a perception check. Well, actually, no.
Yeah.
First, roll me a flat d20.
Yeah. Now my flat D20 is an 8.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
That will be a 18.
18. Okay. As you are going through the city towards Meshach's studio apartment, you are wounded. And do you want to get any? You could also get some healing. Not that you must
Yeah,
need it.
that would have been wise. I'd
Okay.
probably have gotten some healing in.
You can get. We'll get you. We'll get you a third level heal. What is it? Healing touch. What is it?
Cure wounds. D8 plus 2d8 per level plus spellcasting.
You'll get a 2D. So you get a third level. So You'll get some.
6d8 plus 5 probably.
Kind of poopy rolls, but you will get 22 points of health back as well.
Okay.
From when the Gilded Legion mages there to sent you west. As you plod through the city, you hear a pair of footsteps behind you. Clearly not. These footsteps clearly not regular footsteps. Clearly trying to hide their presence.
I just I take my shield off my back and put it on, not breaking my stride.
And as soon as they notice as you do that, the shield speaks to you. The Hidden Lord speaks to you. You hear them?
I do.
I can sense them. They are not our friends.
Friends rarely try to conceal their presence.
As you say that, your boot kicks something. You see a slain city guardsman, hidden in the shadow behind a box, a crate laying there in the street. His throat slit. Upon closer look, you see blood for the blood god, painted in messy handprints on the wall above him. You're ready, you know they're there. The cultists strike at you. You are significantly stronger than the cultists. We're not going to bother with actually rolling a combat. How does this fight look?
The cultist comes at me. It's got two rusted.
There are a pair of them.
Sweet. Two cultists then. One is at my right and one is at my left. The one at my right comes at me with a heavy blade that it is not like strong enough to wield. It's going on pure like rage. It's a clumsy sword stroke. I bat it away with the shield and snap the guy's neck with like a shield bash.
Mm-hmm.
The other one. Can I try to subdue this guy? No, because they just scream. They don't think.
You can certainly try to subdue him.
I think I truly reflexively, after I've cut his sword arm off, I stop for a moment and like realize that nothing will stop these essentially inhuman creatures. And I just make it quick.
Absolutely. Within a few seconds, the combat is over. There are now, instead of one form laying on the street, there are now three. Stand there, bloodied axe, and you are free to continue going. There are no more footsteps. You are able to make it the rest of the way to Meshach's apartment block unhindered.
The Meshach?
The Meshach, yes.
It's spelled exactly the same. The only thing's different is the H is a K.
The Wee Shack.
It's like hammered in like wooden letters, and the M is just a single like nail in the middle, so someone occasionally like flops it upside down.
You were able to make it to the shack. Name pending.
Nope.
You see other signs of violence throughout the streets as you make your way there.
Toss your coin to your witcher, O Valley of Plenty.
Gentlemen, you can see me, you can see, like, there's new blood on me. It's still wet. I was not down by the docks. Did something happen down by the docks as well? Were there any survivors?
Based off of numbers, it would be very unusual for the cultists to not have killed them.
So you guys watched, and you saw, you could almost think like World War Z, like they just overwhelmed them with sheer numbers. There were no survivors left from even of like the 30 soldiers who were there. They fought, but they died.
Yeah.
Only two. Yes, I suppose it does. Yes, the same that we saw the other day. The docks, of course, yes. Um, well, Seamus has made clear to me that, or he has said that the box is in some way critical to the destruction of this new cult. I I everything seems to indicate that Seamus is trying to remedy the situation. I think. You don't seem to believe so, and I trust your word. Tell me what it is you see. It seems to me that we bear great power. I could eliminate many if I tried. Yes.
Oh, oh, please don't tell me it's spaghetti monsters.
I was told only that it would play a role in ending this, what I presume to be this new cult. He said that there was a new player in the abyss, a new force. Yes, yes. Hell, right?
I believe the phrase is usually you say no afterwards.
Ah, of course. So the abyss is not hell. In the same way that um, I don't know if I have any good analogy for two things that are similar but different. Uh, I was um,
Did the date not go as well as you thought? It didn't seem like it, but was it? Did she not realize she was on a date because she didn't know it was a date? Did she understand?
I think she definitely the date thing. I think she got just fine.
I don't know.
Uh,
There I might have some mixed feelings about it. Got it. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the not date later.
I actually wanted to apologize to you for earlier. No. But after your date, I was I was trying to lift your spirits, and instead I simply lifted spirits. Well, um,
Inserts whiskey glasses by Morgan Wallen.
wait, no, I gotta write that down. Uh, uh, he has the box. The four in the three are working on it, doing some. Oh, that's actually. Oh my goodness. The congregation at the dock. Are they still at the dock? Well, I suppose the Gilded Legion should probably do something about it. Um,
I would assume that Seamus, if he was able or wanted to do something, he would have already.
I'd. Well, did he know that something was. You know, that there were.
Did he?
Well,
Did
your.
Seamus know that the box and shield, which it looks like you still have said shield, would attract
Yes, yes.
everything?
During.
I'm still here.
And I know you are. Um,
Attack.
I
Don't
feel.
tell me.
I feel no apprehension speaking in your presence. Um, uh, if well, I don't think there was some. You had alluded to some kind of great massacre at the docks. I I wish I could have known. I wish I could have brought reinforcements. I do not fear death. I know where I will go. I long for the call of Valhalla,
Oh my
but
gosh, you're serious.
it is a prize to be won fairly.
Oh, this guy's crazy. Gosh dang it.
Combat has um, a right order to it. If I if I simply concede and uh, die by someone else's, well, I would uh, to die a worthy death is the goal of any life, is it not? No,
Actually, one of these seems like it's apparently more religious based.
I don't seek my own glory. I
Like
seek
your
the
fake
glory of
date.
Tyr. It's not about me. Yes, I concede my mercenary status. I am a self-interested man in a sense, but acclaim from others concerns me little. Hmm, sure. Oh, I've never had a tequila that burns before. uh, it it seems I know of your distrust for Seamus, and I understand it. It is in his best interest to do so. Whether or not you think him a morally interested man, he has certainly shown an interest in destroying this cult. His actions as well. Right. So perhaps, even if, there are questions as to the character of Seamus, we can trust his goals, if not his virtue. Absolutely. This is my aim as well. I wish nothing more than to see this place safe. The first one was not alliterated, and this one is. Is there a sort of thing about that? There's almost an ironic asymmetry to the symmetry of this new title. Right, that would mean that it's phonetically alliterative rather than truly alliterative. I was raised I was raised by
He's like,
nobility.
you know, he's right. He's correct. It doesn't make him smart. He's just correct and you're wrong.
Not at all. I remembered little of my studies other than that. Only time will tell.
CTE in the making.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Um, more, uh, more information would be critical. I'm going to spend the night seeing if I can't get more cultists to attack me. Uh, I would, I would quite like to try and put one of them to flight, and learn if there are any um, united hideouts, any places where they're congregating as a group rather than as scattered individuals. Rest well.
I'm gonna go out killing.
I'm gonna lick my wounds because I hurt a lot in combat.
Huh. I initiate a grapple attempt. Uh, well, thank you. Um, ah! Hmm. Hmm. Your magical wiles are. I'm gonna close the door.
All right, so Magnus and Mishek, you're all gonna take a long rest.
Yeah, I would like to.
Jacob, what exactly is it you're doing?
I'm gonna truly like. If it doesn't work after a couple hours, I'll let it be. But I'm gonna just kind of walk the streets, um, back to, kind of an ambling long way back to the inn that I'm staying at.
All right, back to the Sentinel's Rest.
Yeah, and I just kind of walk and hope that trouble finds me. Uh, as as smart as Jacob has proved to be tonight, he's still not really the plans guy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So roll me just roll me a d10.
D10. Yeah, I'd love to. Uh, it's a 6.
As you, in much the same way as you killed these last two cultists, as you make your way back intentionally through the worst parts of the city, you encounter no large groups. But in ones and twos, you leave a string of 6 bodies between Meshach's apartment and the Sentinel's Rest. Almost entirely in the dock ward and the the lower parts of the city where you're coming from. As you get closer towards the castle ward and the Sentinel's Rest, there are none there. And you also, as you approach the castle ward, you see a great level of activity of guards running back and forth, clearly alerted to something. Mustering is like mustering in basically columns, getting ready to march down into the city. You see dozens of both Gilded Legion and City Guard in their respective formations, but mostly Gilded Legion. The Gilded Legion are organized and moving in. The City Guard look like they've been caught flat-footed. They are reacting behind.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm gonna tell I'm gonna give the Gilded Legion that I meet these instructions. Um, uh, I don't know that they will bite too big a fish. Go, I've not seen any approach me in groups of more than 2. Break into divisions as small as you think you could handle 2 of them.
What is happening down there in the first place?
Cultists attacking passers-by at random.
Across how big an area?
I described to essentially right like the fully the Dark District
Almost
and
like the entire southern half of the city, yeah.
yeah. That.
In what numbers?
I've heard tell of more than 100. I have slain 8 tonight.
As you're talking about this to the captain, you see like there's an actual glimmer of like, oh shit, like this is not normal. In his face, like a little bit of color comes out of his face. If that, and that which might tell you something about the past. Very well. Thank you, Captain. Thank you for the report.
Of course. Keep your heads on a swivel. I have had much success alone, and so I will go alone.
Of course. Men, move out. Hooah! And they'll all give their hooah, and they start in columns of 20, start splitting off and marching in a jog through the city, down towards the south. I'm going to share the map of Waterdeep I've been using here. If it wants to cooperate. It exceeds the size limit.
Just so we're clear, my highest mental stat is charisma. And so I've decided that Jacob mostly remembers his public speaking classes. Yeah. Don't ask him about math.
You are able to make it the rest of the way. As soon as you meet these columns as they're staging, you see no more cultists. You are safe. And you make it back to the Sentinel's Rest without further incident. And you may also receive a lovely long rest.
Oh, that'll be nice. I'm gonna erase a lot of stuff.
Yeah. You guys are able to spend the rest of the night in peace.
There's a maps chat.
Oh, there is. You are correct.
But yeah. So, if you wanna...
Oh gosh.
So the South Ward, the Dock Ward, and the lower part, the lower string of the Castle Ward and of the Trades Ward were all parts of conflict. All places of conflict.
Yeah, it's like
the South Ward, the Dock Ward, and that lower third of the Castle Ward, that sort of string approaching the harbor, and that lower half of the Trades Ward, all saw immense levels of cultist activity. You, Magnus, and Meshach would have seen them leaving the South Ward and heading into the Dock Ward, where Iron Maiden was overwhelmed.
Bruh.
Is the Iron Maiden like still afloat? Because I know there is acidic blood that's probably like been burning into it for a couple hours now.
Yes, but so as it goes, the blood actually like dissipates, and like it actually needs to be used up too. So it's first of
Gotcha.
all, you haven't seen it, but from what you might remember, like it wasn't like enough to burn through the thick hull of a ship, of a seagoing ship.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you haven't seen the Iron Maiden, you haven't been to Harbor District to see, but if you were to think about it, you wouldn't think it seemed in any immediate danger of sinking.
Okay.
You guys are able to wake up the next morning. Depending on the time you wake up, Jacob, there is no bread being distributed today.
Brandy can't be dead.
The city, as each of you might peer out your window or out into the streets,
Dead.
the city is silent. Save it looks like nighttime, but as the morning rises on the city, it looks like a war zone outside.
Man, we slept really well. Like,
So it's you can see a lot of things you might have missed in the dark last night. Just 1,000 small duels as you guys might step out. Unless there's anything we want to do before we step out into the city, um, before we go out.
um, nah, I'm good. Let's go.
Yeah, it looks like there are very few large battles. Just 1,000 small duels, and iron or a gilded legion everywhere. Checkpoints at every intersection in the southern half of the city, which you know that's where the Gilded Legion been primarily operating. The north side is sort of the realm of the city guard. It's a bit more stable, a bit more of the wealthy parts of the city, less cultist activity. The southern half is under full military occupation. They are still cleaning up bodies that some of you saw last night, some of you missed. Um, and the Gilded Legion are acting pretty brutal. They're suspicious of everyone. Um, a lot of get out of the way, um, columns marching through, sort of pushing civilians sort of jumping to the side. Um, it's a very even more grim than it's ever been since you guys have been in the city.
Mm.
Jacob, it's not quite so bad where you are. There's a lot of activity. Things are there's a lot of Gilded Legion moving around, but it's less city. You don't quite get the hints of what's going on farther in the southern half of the city. The Sentinel's Rest is solidly in the middle of the castle ward. There's no bread being delivered. There's no civilian activity in the streets other than people hurriedly trying to move past patrols. Um, but this is what you guys wake up to in the morning.
Um, yeah, that's awful.
I think Jacob is going to spend the front part of his day just helping get bodies to wherever they're being identified. Um, this is probably weirdly the guard's job because they've just been in the city and they know what's up, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Um,
So if you go to the southern half of the city, you would notice there are no city guard present.
yeah, fair enough. Um, Mishak, I'm pleased to see you. Are you well? Yes.
I'm going to try to just go and collect information on the cultists. Was there much information gained over the night type of thing?
Collect information, like as in, are you talking to just random passerbys? Or are you trying to find someone in particular?
Um, I'm going to kind of walk around, um, make some passive observations on the state of the city itself, along with using my large elephant ears to try to like pick up conversations like about cultists. I'll keen in if the word cultist or people last night trip like is talked about. If it just seems like yeah, they just came out of nowhere and don't not really getting any new information, I'll just keep walking by. Um, I might particularly get a little bit closer to Gilded Legion or City Guard because they'll probably have more interesting information.
Roll me an investigation check.
Dope. Is that with smell?
No.
15. 15.
So that's pretty good. Yeah. So you encounter a variety of figures of whom, and so you can tell most of it just looks like a large-scale cultist attack. Um, there's a few passerbys who will sort of like quickly and tersely as they hustle along the side, or from what a few Gilded Legion will sort of tell you very gruffly, very quickly. You gather that this was the largest cultist attack yet, and not by usually as an isolated, targeted incidents like in this alley, this part. This encountered well over 30% of the city. The death toll is in the hundreds. Um, the city, both the Gilded Legion and the City Guard were caught unprepared. The cultists seemed to like they knew where the patrols would be. They'd been watching them. They knew who to cut off to prevent the alarm from being raised. Um,
This was
they were not ready for an attack of this scale.
this was
Um,
very coordinated.
um,
Very coordinated.
and they did not, as soon as resistance, as soon as like the like uh, Gilded Legion formations came in like in strength, they did not fight them. They melted away. It's like by the time like those formations Jacob would have seen going in, they found some isolated cultists straggling around, but they didn't find any of these hordes of cultists that you guys would have seen last night. They just found a few stragglers, just the remnants of 1,000 small-scale assassinations and butcheries across the city. Mm-hmm. You also find in the South Ward, which is one of the poorer districts of the city, where many of the refugees from Helm's Hold are, in camps or in shelters and alleys, in squares, some being sheltered by churches or shelters or generous private citizens. You find a priest with a metal breastplate on, leaning on a massive two-handed warhammer, who looks exhausted. He was clearly fighting last night. As you pass him, he calls out to you.
Okay.
You, with the big feet and the soft step.
Who, me?
Are you with him, this Meshach? Okay.
Who, me?
Yes.
I'll walk over to him. I'll get a little closer.
As you come, you see both of his eyes are milky white. He's totally blind. You seek answers.
How did this happen?
He's just sitting there. He's clearly sort of a watch figure over. He's got a small camp behind him of refugees. I mean, he seems to be sort of the vigilant one among them. I tried to tell them. The Gilded Legion do not seek true wisdom. But we here on the streets, we knew they were coming.
What do you mean that you knew they were coming?
We here live on the streets. We are not asked about what we know. We implore City Guard and Gilded Legion alike. But the refugees are cast aside. We have seen these enemies before in our own city. Helm's Hold fell to men identical to these.
What do you know about Helm's Hold?
I am from there. Forgive me, I am Father Lawrence. The Order of the Hammer. He says he pats his ridiculously large hammer.
A hammer that no one would actually realistically use, but yet somehow he can use it well.
It's a big ol' hammer. It's like a Marvel superhero hammer, yes.
Alright.
We have been fighting them. They come in the streets and the sewers and 1,000 basements and holds beneath the city. They could be any of us. Any of the people of Waterdeep. Their god allows them to hide their scars when necessary.
So they're hiding in plain sight.
Yes. We fight them every night.
Do you have any idea of leaders? Like, do they just worship a deity and then they get direct orders, or is there a head of some sort?
There always is, but we have no way of knowing.
So at this point, we've only seen the grunts.
Grunts are all there are. They have a few leaders, but even they are not. They are kept in the dark. They are just as fanatic and just as zealous towards their god of blood as the lowest initiate.
Then why was this attack so coordinated?
Because the officials are blind.
Insight check? Can I do an insight check, see if he's like, well, everything he's saying is like he truly believes that like,
yeah, absolutely,
the guards are just not doing their job. Is that what smell? I'm joking. Insight, that's a 12.
This man is 100% convicted. Yes, feels very ignored by both City Guard and Gilded Legion. Like they're trying to solve a problem one way, but that they're just not actually listening to people who might actually have relevant information.
Is this what happened to Helm's Hold before it disappeared?
Helm's Hold happened much quicker. Did not hold out for even 3 weeks. It was dragged down into the abyss.
So are you saying that Waterdeep's next?
Absolutely. He's gonna reach out and he'll start to like reach a hand to your face, and he'll like land on like your trunk, like there'll be a little bit of surprise. You are one of the elephant folk, Aloxidon.
Yes.
It's good, then you will not forget what I tell you.
Actually, I forget things all the time. That was a joke.
Very well. And you will see a smirk on his face until it turns deadly serious. And even though his eyes are milky white, you can still feel almost like they're locked onto yours.
Like the intensity.
Yeah. I was the last one out of Helm's Hold. I could see then. The city was torn into a hole in the ground. I stepped off of it as it was torn asunder. Everyone here is going to die. I have seen it. Now I can truly see what is to come. It is fire and blood and nothing less. And you, he's gonna run his hand like a little bit more down your face, like down to a tusk and stuff. He'll blink. You have a part to play. Magnus? Yes. You have a part to play.
Who are you?
I already told you I am Father Lawrence, of the Order of the Hammer. And now I can see.
What do you mean you can see? You don't look you look like you're blind.
But now I truly see. You, men in the Gilded Legion, the City Guard, think they can see the problem and what is really happening. Now, there is something more, something not of this world. We are not long for this realm. We are trying to get out. We fled here thinking we might be safe, but the city is under lockdown. Magnus, you seem like you might be able to help us. I'm trying to get those few survivors from Helm's Hold who fled here back out to the city, but the guard will not let us leave.
Why don't you try leaving now? Looks like the guard's really busy.
The guard are out in more strength than they ever have been. They are more suspicious than they ever have been. Any move against them might result in slaughter. Magnus.
How many people are there in the camp behind him?
Rough overview, there are over 100 easily. Families, women, children, fathers, people of all sorts.
Okay, so why is it just the lockdown that's preventing you from leaving?
The gates are sealed. The walls are unscalable, patrolled day and night. The harbor is shut. There are no boats available. We are trapped here in this house of slaughter.
And what? Pardon me asking, but what makes you think that you didn't bring the cultist? What if they're hiding in your refugees?
It is possible. But there are too many to be merely those of Helm's Hold. And that would simply beg the question, who brought the cultists to Helm's Hold? No. We sense them, I know. They come from the ranks of this very city. You could be one. But alas, I can see, Magnus, that you are not, hence why I trust.
I really wish I know detect magic so badly right now. Can I do another insight check? Like, not on the stuff I already did insight check on, but since then, the new information. Has there been
Yeah,
anything that seems like, is he truly, like, really convinced in everything he said?
yeah.
That would be a 27.
Okay. This guy is absolutely 100% convicted. He
Okay.
and you can tell there is you can tell like there is something to him. The strength of his belief is such that he is either insane or he is truly his mind is truly changed and sees something beyond what you can see.
Brother is
Is he,
presenting you with the trilemma.
I beg of you, though, I ask that you bring your friends, the Goliath, the Hobgoblin, the Tiefling, all of them. They can help us out. They might be the only ones who will. The only group of any strength in this city not beholden to the great powers that be.
do you have a plan to escape?
A ship came in last night, did it not?
It's destroyed.
It is not. It still floats. This I know.
With massive holes in it, though.
There are no holes in the ship.
I thought there's holes in the side of it that, like,
There's
the
holes. It's
demon.
perfectly sailable. There's holes in the side, but it's perfect. Nothing that would let the water in.
Okay. It will float. It's just not the most safe for people to be in, as in by the
Ideally,
holes.
must get outside the walls into the coast.
Would I have any idea, like, the harbor itself would still probably be closed off, though, right?
Absolutely, everything is locked down.
So even if we got on the ship, like, we would still have to deal with, like, something that has to open up to let the ship out.
And so there is a chain across the mouth of the harbor.
Mm-hmm.
That is a huge, thick chain that's strung across the mouth of the harbor that would prevent a ship from just sailing right through. That needs to be it can be loosened so it drops down into the water with these great winches on either side.
So we would need a crew to do that.
Yes.
And it would require us to go through the area that was cult infested.
Yeah, I mean the whole southern
Half.
third of the city is cult infested, as far as you know.
Mm-hmm. How many people can fight?
Those who could fight did not make it out of the city. Me and a few of the other militant orders are all that remain. There are not more than a dozen that are fit, including me, to wield weapons. The rest of us are elderly, infirm, mothers and daughters and grandfathers.
Well, nighttime would be, I don't know. It's not just the city guard or gilded legion at this point. It's also cultists, and I'm afraid the odds are not in our favor right now.
Yes, but you think with the mind of man. There is a greater truth, Magnus. Think upon my request. I know you'll make the right decision, one where perhaps we are not meant to be saved. That is a possibility. With that, we of Helmshold will meet our fate with the same faith we lived with.
I will remember.
I know you will. I will leave you with one word of advice, of which I know not the meaning, but which I know must be sent to you. There is only one Lord. No Lady of Light or no hidden being will save you. Only the true Lord. That I know I must tell you. Good day, Magnus. And he'll sort of pat your tusk and turn around. And only then, as he walks by, do you notice he's walking with a heavy limp, using his hammer as a cane.
Oh gosh. I think I'm just gonna head back to find Meshach and Jacob at this point.
Great. Meshach and Jacob, what are y'all up to this morning?
Okay. Jacob is surprised and impressed by that. He's gonna be cleaning up the mess as well. I imagine there's like a chair race where Jacob's got like two bodies on each shoulder, and Meshach is kind of like bridle carrying, one at a time. Um, I don't know whether you dumped strength, but you're a bard, so I just assumed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So actually, you guys could go down with your rank as cap. You're led around, and Meshach, if you're accompanying Jacob, they'll let you in just about anywhere. You're let in. Um, as Jacob, as you come down from the castle, you notice there's like a weird standoff going on at sort of a third way down, with a city guard and some of their officials are there's a cordon of Gilded Legion not letting anyone in. Like no, we're taking care of this, and there's a standoff going on, and you would notice approaching as you are let through the cordon, you would notice Kenneth Kennedy. Well, you wouldn't notice Kenneth Kennedy. You would notice the hulking figure of Boros the Blunt standing over the crowd, sort of parting people. And then maybe through a gap in the crowd, you see Kenneth Kennedy sort of walking very officially, hands behind his back, through the crowd, Boros the Blunt parting the way in front of him. When you can absolutely make your way through him. There's sort of a press of people like looking at looking at what happened in the south ward of the city. Like there's a lot of rumors flying around in these big broad streets going south that are locked off. Um, but you can absolutely make your way as Boros Blunt sort of gets parts of the crowd, Kenneth Kennedy following behind him. You can certainly slide in beside him. Yes, of course I've come to help. What are you doing here? I am intimately familiar with what happened last night. My spies told me everything. Did you get it make it to the ship? I will stay here. I will talk to you in a minute. And then you'll disappear in the crowd, which swallows him up. He won't tell you so. He will tell you to meet him back at City Hall this afternoon. Yeah, he very much wishes to speak with you. You guys are able to make it to the cordon. I assume you guys are still trying to make it to the south ward, or the dock ward. Yep. If you're with your Jacob, the two guards will pass, let you guys through, and you guys are welcome with the scenes of carnage. And you guys are able to make it through, and you guys can hear basically As you see Kenneth Kennedy approach the guard, the commander at the front, like, what is the meaning of this? And they'll basically get the response: Seamus's orders, no one comes in. And that's, long story short of that conversation, you guys are able to go in and help start cleaning up. As you do so, you notice many of the same assistants in the same roughly uniform appearance who would be distributing bread, clearly some sort of charitable organization. That would be like Brandy's organization, helping dispose of bodies, treat wounded people, identify the dead, that sort of stuff. As they're laying out bodies in a large town square. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you will see her. She's across the. I'm not gonna make your roll perception. She is across the. She's across the square, um, helping like has a body by the feet, while a half orc holds a body by the shoulders, and they're laying it out. She's got like sort of a medieval nurse's uniform on, um, like big white cloth gloves that are blood stained, all that sort of stuff. Um, Hair totally disheveled behind a mask, all that sort of stuff.
Jacob was watching you very closely to like just, and you know what? The second you make the right choice, and Jacob's like, yeah, man, that's my guy. That's my guy right there.
Emotional intelligence +1. Yep. Take inspiration for that. I like that. As you guys are working, eventually you see Seamus eventually walking around, sort of like he looks pissed off. He's like yelling at like Captain, like, what the hell happened? Like, how could you let this happen? Who was watching? How did they get into our defenses? That sort of stuff. How did they know like who let the like who screwed up here? He's pissed off. He's clearly not in a good mood as he's yelling and going, and he sort of strides through the square and sort of looks down, is surrounded by officers who are constantly coming and going, giving orders. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'll go where Mishak goes. And Mishak, you can see as Jacob tightens up a lot when he's around like other Gilded Legion people, but when he's just around civilians, you can see there's like a real weight on him. He's really feeling all of this like nastiness. I I think the fact that I am profoundly disturbed is, yes, a sign that I am doing okay. Yes, I suppose it is. I did not. Well, I killed only in self-defense last night. I don't think they do. I think like they did not they weren't defend they actually like assassinated. Oh, causes schmauzes. Not in as many words. I uh there are there are good reasons to kill, but I I don't see that here. Yes, well, no amount of years in the mercenary life could desensitize me to this. Hmm. Well, why would you say that? Okay, I would love to.
Okay, yeah,
Hmm?
yeah, all right. Absolutely. So, Magnus, I assume you want to go and rejoin this group.
You're muted.
My apologies. My roommate came home and I
Oh,
was trying not to disturb. Yeah, I would come back, join. I'll. This is not the appropriate time to share the information I found out, so I'll just help them out with what they're working on.
Excellent. Yeah, eventually, you guys are able to work until you guys are eventually, we'll say noon hits. You guys are able to get lunch. Jake would certainly be able to get you lunch from Guild of Legion rations, no problem. Um, it's about the time Kenneth Kennedy would be wanting to meet you. Um, would said he wanted to talk to you guys after lunch. At least you, Meshach, but he would say he wanted to talk to the group.
just you? I think it would send the wrong message if I went in my Gilded Legion apparel, but I have other armor.
I'd go.
Of course.
I'd go with you.
All right, you guys are able to go back to City Hall, where Kenneth Kennedy has returned. Um, you guys are able, as always, get through all the line. I guess there's not really any lines. It is that massive sort of train station building is totally empty, except for actual like guardsmen and officials. There's no one here trying to get their permits today. Um, you guys are Boros the Blunt, not sleeping today. Notices you, brings you up to Kenneth Kennedy's office up on the like the 10th level, where he's just pacing back and forth in front of the windows overlooking the main atrium. Um, you guys are ushered inside. He continues pacing for like one to two more laps, and turns on his heels and uh, walks up to his desk and like puts his hands down on the desk. Well, what happened last night? I would imagine not. That is quite a lot of killing, even for men of your caliber.
My understanding is that a truly unbelievable amount of cultists rose up, having somehow perfectly concealed themselves prior to now, and they struck at a great deal of Gilded Legion, especially in the south. The density increased the further south you go. The Dark District was hit the hardest.
That is what my spies tell me too. But clearly there's something more. You were on the ship. I know you signed the contract.
I did.
You were there, and I assume you are sworn to secrecy. But the other two of you, did you make it? What did we discuss?
There's
You were having a concert last night.
you were part of this plan. No, you weren't.
Of course. Then Magnus, what were you doing last night? What
Trying
was
not to get
all I want to
trying
know
not
is
to
what
get eaten by demon fish.
demon fish.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever is supposed to be
True devils attacked the ship.
hidden.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question. Do I know? Does the Hidden Lord only respond to verbal communication or just internal dialogue?
He is entirely um
He
doesn't
can hear
speak-
you.
Like he can hear you. Um but he generally he hears when you're thinking, like thinking to him in your head as well.
Like he can only hear us if we're directly communicating with him.
He can
Yes.
hear what we say.
He can
To
hear
him.
if you intentionally try to tell him, reach out to him with your mind, you can communicate him telepathically.
But that being something that I gained in the employ of the Gilded Legion, I don't think I'd have taken the shield.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Okay, alright, that's not here.
That's very important information to know.
That's a really good point. Yeah, that being Gilded Legion stuff, I'd have left the Gilded Legion stuff. That also includes the short sword.
Then what? Thank you. That clarifies a lot of things because I would have asked you to move it away. Anyways, yeah, Kenneth. To be frank with you, blunt, straight to the point. There is a shield and a treasure chest on the ship. Whatever the shield didn't seem like the main artifact. It was what was in that chest. And whatever was in that chest, demon fish tried to get it. That was what the Gilded Legion really seemed to want to have. And after it was taken away was when all the cultists swarmed the harbor. Specifically going onto that ship.
Was there anything significant? A shield.
It's a talking shield.
A talking shield. And
Yep.
A talking shield with a mind, a voice, or
Like
did it just repeat the same phrase over? Was there anything?
no, like think a person stuck inside a shield, like that type of thing.
What sort of person?
He called himself the Hidden Lord.
The hidden lord, all right. And did he tell you anything about himself? Did he have an
He
agenda?
really hates demons. He's killed a lot of demons. And during the fight, fought demons.
So he was an ally of yours in the fight.
Yes.
That does not fit the puzzle I'm building in my head. No,
No, the shield itself breathed fire.
He was using spells from the shield. And the chest. Were you able to determine what was inside of it? A chest and a key. What was this? Describe it. I must. If such a big deal is being made about a single box, I must know what this box was like. There are many sorts of boxes in this world, some totally mundane, some with the ability to destroy continents. Yeah, each of you roll me a history check. To actually get a point.
13.
They would know that Olvar described its properties, yes?
Yes, Olvar told you the whole thing, like, clearly language from out of this world has something to do with shifting planar boundaries. He did share that information with all of you.
There is, well, I had an interesting dream the night I signed on with the Legion. I was in darkness, and a woman of angelic form, brilliant with light, showed herself to me. I was frightened when I awoke. My mind said that this must be a Valkyrie, and somehow I don't agree with my mind on this matter.
Never mind. All right. As you guys talk about the box and describe its ability to shift planar boundaries, his attention is going to perk up a little bit. This must have some connection with Helm's Hold. A city disappears that the Gilded Legion were stationed in. Disappears from this realm, I might say. The Gilded Legion moves to a new city. Then a device capable of moving material between planes appears in that city. I trust the conclusions are not too difficult for you to draw.
So, what do you suggest? We evacuate the citizens of Waterdeep?
That is impossible.
Impossible?
The Gilded... Let me be straight with you. With our present state, the Gilded Legion is the most powerful force in this city. We have literally sold ourselves into the hands of mercenaries. In order to keep the peace, we let wolves into our midst. We might be the legitimate power of the city, but we do not control it in law. We do not control it in actuality.
So you're a puppet.
I am not a puppet, but I am a lord taken prisoner in his own city.
You're a lord with strings.
What I need you to do, is steal the box. It is clearly crucial to his entire plan. Dispose of it. Make sure it cannot be used for what is clearly its intended purpose. Dispose of it. Destroy it if possible.
He... I don't think he said that, Mishak. Seamus has made... Seamus has said to me that the box was an important step in the destruction of this cult. I don't think it's anything as base as simply a targeted beam of light that zaps and evaporates all of the cultists. That would not align with my understanding of what the box does. Yes.
Would it be possible Seamus was using words with double meaning? Destruction of cultists would be achieved if the entire city was pulled into another plane of existence.
I fear increasingly that any man is capable of deception. Yes.
Plan is much easier said than done. Plan is quite simple: to restore the city to its state prior to these uprisings. And that is the difficult part. As you know, we had a plan. Our plan was to bring it. We were overstretched, we were stretched thin, we were incapable of dealing it by ourselves, so we brought in a solution: the Gilded Legion. That has clearly been half successful at best. I will admit, I have spies, I have influence, I have money, but I have no army, and I have no strength to actually expel our occupiers or deal with the cultists. I am not too proud of a man to admit when I do not have an actual plan. That is why I'm reaching out to you. You are my plan, Meshach. Each of you. You are the Hail Mary for this city. The last chance. And if you see what it will take, I have gold. If you want to, I can get you almost anything you want. Within reason, of course. But I am no devil here to be tricking you in or tempting you. I would hope. I am, and a good one at that.
Insight check. Specifically his last
You get
statement.
good insight on that.
$19. Is he a
He's
good
the best
politician?
politician you've ever seen. And do you leave the room? As you walk out, get the box, Meshach. It all hinges on this as you leave the room. Well, to you, to Jacob, I know I ask something great of you. I know you think you are doing the honorable thing with the Gilded Legion. It's perhaps true that you are. But I ask you, help us in this. Whatever indemnity you might have to Seamus for breach of contract, I will pay it.
Could you free a soul?
I've never tried before.
Well, they claim it was just pointless legalese, but with matters as large and strange as we find ourselves in now, I wonder if I may suffer for eternity. Still, no excuse to act without honor. I do not know yet whether I have reason to doubt Seamus's character. But if I do, then I will act on that information.
Ask you, are you going to tell this conversation to your employer?
I know of no obligation that would require me to.
Excellent. That is all I can ask of you. Magnus? We need that box.
I need some supplies.
What do you need?
Insert conversation and montage later.
From us, what a sneaky guy.
Partially because it's 10 o'clock and I do have work in the morning.
Yeah. No, we're gonna wrap up.
And this seems like a perfect spot to stop tonight.
Yep. That's where we'll do it.
I need a rope. That's all I know for sure. I just decided at the beginning that I've had dealings with Kenneth before, so I'm just gonna trust him more.
Yeah, I think
That's it. And I'm just okay with that.
Jacob is so torn.
I'm actually waiting for everyone to be convinced to sign a contract with Seamus just to get close to him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I watched one of those, like, not Wired, but something similar to that, like an interview with an FBI undercover operative. And something he talked about a lot was like, I made friends undercover. Like, I
Mhm.
like those guys. You know, like actually they are dear to me in a sense. And you know, I sold them out. I'm playing him. I'm
Mhm.
playing him, Dan. It's not fun. It's so much fun. Oh, but poor Jacob.
There is a part of me that just wants to be like, Blake, take Magnus and just have him be this ultimate secret agent assassin mercenary in the background to just kind of casually do all of kind of Kennedy's dirty work. And I would be so happy just to hear that Magnus did things in the background.
There,
Oh, so
there's
funny.
stuff going on that I don't know.
So, okay, is this Blood for the Blood God like Warhammer?
No, I don't think it is.
It's
Or is it
similar
like,
vibes, but no, it's not the same thing.
not saying that you know what I'm talking about though, right?
Yeah, yeah.
For Warhammer. Okay. I figured it probably is the
This
D&D
god
equivalent,
is
but
certainly similar in vibe to that corresponding god from Warhammer.
I can't believe that I didn't catch it the first time.
I can't believe either.
Just a couple of DMs talking DM stuff.
meanwhile, there's been a mosquito that's been in my room this entire evening. I
I'm so
can't.
glad. I'm so glad Dan's pissed off about Kenneth.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like we haven't had a healthy voice of uh, dissent toward Kenneth yet. Everybody's, making fun of my boss. It's about time somebody was making fun of your boss.
I'm just more. I'm actually like just hearing Kenneth. What is that? Turtle Man.
Nice.
Hard to say.
Whatever it is, it's
It's a little
cute.
guy.
Ambiguous animal reptile. Um. Yeah. Also, Tom, I like your Blood Hunter.
Thank you. I
I
really like
really,
it too.
I really like the Darkstalker, but my one problem I have with it is just it sounds really cool and at the same time so easily can descend my brain to darkness. I'm like, oh, this would be really graphic, like Tristan's last character. That's my one problem I have with it. Is like, I'm like, oh, this would be so cool combat, but it'd be so graphic every combat, and it's not even like in a cool, but like maybe not
Yeah,
healthy for my brain way.
yeah, I really I've as a DM played with really nasty graphic combat for like RP purposes. If you'll remember the first combat of Out of the Abyss, the like talking about Edwin frying people that he knows, you know?
Yeah, and that's the
Uh
thing. Combat is like it's 20 objects going into bodies and fireballs blowing people.
Oh yeah, I understand, but this like that particular subclass, it's like fangs and claws,
Yeah.
just ripping into people, and we don't usually. It's just it's a little different, you know. It really you do a very good job, Tom, painting it like you are. Yeah, I know, like an animal. You're just an animal, and it's you do a very good job painting that picture.
Yeah, I think the Darkstalker is definitely the standout subclass. Largely,
Mhm.
the reason for that is it's the only one that's been significantly modified
Oh, it
since
has
since
for
my
sure.
first draft. Uh, it's I don't know. I'm I heard that from a couple of the other guys I've had look at it. Um, but yeah, Darkstalker is really cute. I'm gonna be playing one in one of my buddies' campaigns coming up.
It 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 looks really fun.
Yeah, it
It
really
looks
does.
really fun. It actually, I've been thinking like, man, like it's not a transform. Like you have to do something to transform into something. You're just kind of like you are that, but at the same
Yeah,
time, very easy. You could play it off kind of like a werewolf type of vibe, like the original one, if you wanted to, and
and I
would
think
be
one of the downsides of a transformation subclass was
oh,
always like you have to transforming is generally some kind of action, and it narratively never feels like it wants to be. You know,
yeah.
the
I mean, in this case, I feel like it would just be um bonus action. You can also activate your crimson rights at the same time, type of thing, and so like you're not losing out on your action economy.